What is the true key to having a charismatic personality? What is the true key to having courage to be unique and different in the sales world? There I was sitting in my psychiatrist's office. It was January 1981. And all of a sudden, there were 5 big orderlies in the room. I was being told that I was being certified. Now, if you don't know what certified means, it means I was not permitted to leave the hospital. And the 5 orderlies were there to make sure I didn't try to escape. In hindsight, this event was not in my life plan. They gave me a shot in the ass for a tranquilizer, and there I stayed at the Clark Institute of Psychiatry. It's now called CAMH Clark Division at the corner of College and Spadina. One day went by, another day. 1 week went by, another week. 1 month went by, another month. I'll never forget looking out from the 11th floor, looking down onto the streets of Toronto and wondering, will I ever walk the streets of this world in freedom again? Psychologists tell us that we have we think 10 to 13 words per second. That's 50 to 60,000 thoughts a day. That means over these 2 months, I had 3 million conscious thoughts. There was one thought that would not leave me. It was just driving me crazy. The thought that would not leave me was, I'll continue with the story in a moment. The title of this talk is How a Certified Psychotic Made It Big in Sales. How salespeople become great. The original title was How Salespeople Join the Top 1% Sales Club and Stay There. The 5 most important, insanely great sales ideas ever. Just think for a moment to yourself. What do you think the 5 most important, insanely great sales ideas ever are? There's hundreds of thousands of sales ideas. But what are the 5 most important sales ideas ever? I'm going to answer the questions. Number 1, the first one. What's the key to having a charismatic personality? And the courage to be different. Question number 2, what is the true key philosophy that one should have to build trust with one's prospects and customers, including the nasty, cranky, and difficult ones? All great salespeople are able to work at a tremendous pace towards their goals. What is the key to taking action? Number 4, what is the number 1 attitude that one needs to have if they want to join the top 1% sales club? And 5, what is the key action one should take? Before I get back to my mental challenge at the Clark being in jail, I just want to comment on one's mental potential. In the book, The Biology of Beliefs, it is said that our unconscious mind is a million times more active than our conscious mind. And our conscious mind can pick up 40 environmental stimuli at any 1 second. So, no wonder most people live life on autopilot. You may have heard of some autistic savants, like Derek Pervicini. Derek Pervicini is known as the human iPod. He can play back songs perfectly after listening to them just once. He has a repertoire of over 20,000 songs. Listen to it once, play it back perfectly. Not only that, when he plays back a song, he can play it back in any style you want him to. Jazz, country and western, rock, or even the way Mozart would have written it. Wow. But he can't tell his right hand from his left. But he can play back 20,000 songs. Daniel Tammet, another autistic savant, can recite back the 22,514 digits of pi all the way through in 5 hours. There are other incredible mental feats. Scott Flansburgh can do incredible, gigantic mathematical calculations basically instantly. And now he's not autistic. These three people just underscore and underestimate that tremendous mental power that we all have. So there I was on the 11th floor, looking down, wondering if I'm ever going to walk the streets of this world again in freedom. The one thought that was bugging me for a long time was that everyone back at the office is going to think I'm lunatic, crazy, mental. They were right. I had been psychotic. I had, at one point, lost touch with all reality. Wow. That was driving me crazy. Everyone's just going to think I'm a Looney Tune. So then, I decided, well, I love myself. And it really doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about me. As long as I know I'm a good person and I love myself, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about me. And I probably repeated that to myself tens of thousands of times. Over the last 30 years, it sort of has given me a freedom to do different and crazy things. In February, my middle son came to me and he says, "Dad, my friends think you're crazy." Now the reason he said that was, I live in shorts and a t-shirt 365 days of the year. It can be the middle of February and one of the coldest days of the year. And as Maurice can testify, I live in shorts and a golf shirt 365 days a year. And I will go to the grocery store in the middle of February. And when my son said that to me, I thought for a moment, I paused and I says, I take that as a compliment, Dana. Because I don't care what your friends think. Or if anybody in the grocery store has a problem with the way I'm dressed in the middle of February, as far as I'm concerned, they've got the problem. The freedom that I've had hypnotizing myself that I love myself and I only care what I think about myself has given me a tremendous freedom over the years. So the two questions I asked to start, what was key to having a charismatic personality? and the courage to be different. The key to having a charismatic personality is to be yourself. The moment you be yourself, I just saw on Canadian Professional Sales Association a few weeks ago a webinar of all 8 buyers. And man, did these 8 buyers rip salespeople apart for being phonies and not themselves and trying to manipulate them and so forth. I truly believe if you just be yourself, you'll have a charismatic personality. The courage to be different. In 1987, I came up with a unique method to get through to the presidents of medium-sized companies. Imagine you are a corporate president, you're running a fair-sized company, and you get an envelope. It comes on your desk. Something's in it. It's marked confidential. You open it up, and it didn't come with the regular mail. It came at another time. And now this was pre-9/11. Some spent bullet cartridges fall onto your desk. If you look inside your package, you'll see a little cartoon on the second page. What I had done was I made up a little, like a card. And you'll see the cartoon that was on the front of that card. Inside the card, I said, "Dear Mr. Smith, I sell a product that helps you relax more, increase productivity, and improve communications. I will call in a few days to follow up. Signed, Christopher the Bullet." So in a few days, I follow up. And I would say to the gatekeeper, because back there was no voicemail in 1987. And I would say to the gatekeeper, "Debbie, Mr. Smith is expecting my call. Just tell him it's Christopher the Bullet." She would insist, "What's it about?" And I'd say, "Debbie, just tell Mr. Smith it's Christopher the Bullet." And that's all I would say. I wouldn't tell her what it's about. This method, as far as I can remember, worked every time. A number of my fellow sales reps, I was selling Motorola cell phones. Motorola at the time was the name brand in 1987. And by the way, they sold for it, a portable sold for $5,000. The in-car was $4,000. The combination pack was $7,200. And that was in $87. So in today's dollars, it's probably $7,000 or $12,500. Normally, the gatekeepers never seem to want to let you through because from what they heard, it's only for the rich and famous.